Hello and welcome back to another episode of our weekly podcast, What's in This Week's Oban Times, with me, Owen Wild.
Me, Jodie Hagan.
And me, Kathy Griffiths.
We've got some great stories for you to enjoy in this week's paper, which you can pick up from all the usual shops and retail spots. As always, we love hearing your stories and seeing your photos. If you want to get in touch with us to share those, you can do so by emailing editor@obantimes.co.uk, calling us on 01631 8000, or by getting in touch with us on our social media platforms. Jodie, how about you start us off this week?
Thanks, Owen. Well, plans have been lodged for the next phase of Dunbeg's ambitious housing development, which, if approved, would mean 433 new homes for the area. Phase 4 of the project involves the creation of affordable housing, which will include accommodation for students and elderly living. Find out more about the plans in this week's OT or on www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. At an alt centenarian, Katie Clayton recently celebrated her 100th birthday with a party at her care home, and she received over 100 cards from friends and family. Happy birthday, Katie! And in other positive news, Home-Start Lorn recently held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to welcome the community into its new family centre in Oban. The charity provides support to families with young children and hopes the new centre will be a safe space for families in Oban and beyond. Read more about the grand opening and their plans for the centre in this week's OT.
Thank you, Jodie. Everyone loves positive news. Well, debate over wind farms powered this month's meeting of Oban Community Council, as a sizable public turnout came to discuss the two farms planned to be built not too far from the centre of town. Find out what happened in this week's Oban Times. Also in this week's paper, Argyll and Bute Council has responded to criticism over its handling of a recent meeting of the Mull Campus Community Sounding Board. Parents were asked to leave in a manner which they described as harsh, given the sensitivity of the situation surrounding the Mull Campus project. Finally, from me, I spoke to the couple running Isla's pharmacy, who told me about how they came to the island and their plans for the future. You can read the full article on www.westcoasttoday.co.uk or in this week's Oban Times. Kathy, what do you have for us this week?
Nevis Community Radio is still trying to secure funding so its service can reach Oban ears. The Fort William-based station says it's not forgotten about its Oban project after the demise of Oban FM, but it's had disappointing news about not getting a major funding bid through. However, hope is on the horizon, hurrah, with a new bid in with the Oban Common Good Fund. So let's hope that one works out. Oban's Feishlathana is gearing up once again for its annual Easter Feish with a stellar lineup of tutors providing opportunities for young folk in the Oban and Lorn area to learn instruments and experience traditional music, Gaelic arts and culture. The dates for that are Monday, April the 14th until Thursday, April the 17th at Oban Primary Campus. It's a week later than usual, but you can find out how you can sign up to that by reading this story in paper or online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. And thanks to 241 donors, almost £5,000 has been raised so far via a GoFundMe appeal for Loch Gilped pet Kobe, who needs chemotherapy to extend his life. You can read how he's getting on in this week's Argyllshire Advertiser or online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk.
Thank you very much, Kathy. Well, folks, that's all we have time for this week. Remember to pick up your copy of this week's Oban Times from the usual spots and come back next week for another episode of Whitwat. Until then, it's goodbye from me, Owen Wild.
Bye from me, Jodie Hagan.
And bye from me, Kathy Griffiths. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, hey.